Namaste and welcome to weekly wellness tune-ups on Awaken Living with Nibodhi. This week, we're discussing accepting change with grace. Everything in this universe is in constant change. Nothing stays the same. And my journey, like just about everyone else's, has been one of intense change and has both been incredibly traumatic and incredibly transformational. Especially the last 2 years, through 2024, 2025, I've hurt more than ever before. And at the same time, I felt more connected to my breath, to my body, to my authentic self, to my purpose than ever before in my life. And every time I've lost something or someone that was dear to me, what that's done for me is provided me insight and vision and other things that I really needed for my growth. I didn't know I needed them. I wasn't even knowing, I didn't want them, but they were necessary because in that challenge, immense growth happens. And there have been some really important lessons for me through all the unwanted change that's happened in my life. I've felt pain, some physical pain, but mostly emotional pain. I've had betrayal of people who I thought were the closest people to me in the world. I've had loss. And ultimately, what that led to was acceptance and surrender. Not at first. It's challenging. At first, we resist, but that resistance creates more suffering. So eventually, when I realized that suffering was not going to change anything, it led to surrendering. And changes I've not spoken about have transpired in my life beyond what I could ever have imagined. And the only way through all this change and all this pain has been to acknowledge that all the changes are part of life and be willing to do all I can in effort to keep calm, to keep centered, to keep connected to my breath. And when the time was right, as per universal time, as to God's plan, I eventually surrendered and accepted. And trusting in God and trusting in the universe to do what is best for me and what is to come. That's really the only way I made through it, understanding that the universe does, everything is happening for me, not to me. And for that to really sink in required expanding my awareness of what was happening. And that came through the breath, that came through sitting in the pain, not trying to change it, not judging it as good, bad, right, or wrong, but just sitting with it, sitting and watching and being like, wow, this is in me. This is still in me. These things are hitting parts of me that are not completely healed. And because of that, life has shown me so many things. Life has shown me so many changes by taking away things that I thought I needed, things I thought I wanted, but it took those away. And my resistance and fighting prolonged my suffering. So I simply say, okay, yes, this. And with that acceptance, it's allowed me to grow to where I am today. And I have so many beautiful things in my consciousness, in my heart, that I want to share that are on the horizon, so much better than anything I could have ever planned or expected on my own. I'm very excited to share with you Real Mushrooms, the sponsor of the Awaken Living podcast. I use their mushrooms every single day because they've genuinely changed my life. I trust them because they have 50 years of expertise and use 100% organic mushrooms, 0 grains, 0 fillers, which are found in most common mushroom products on the market. They use just real, organic, clinically tested mushrooms. Every morning, I use lion's mane to sharpen my thinking. I use cordyceps to give me the clean energy I need for the day. I use chaga to strengthen my immune system. And when stress hits, and it does, I use reishi to bring me back to center. With their products, you actually feel the difference. Through the end of March, Real Mushrooms gives Awaken Living with Nibodhi podcast listeners 25% off their entire first order. Use the code AWAKEN25 at checkout to get 25% off your first purchase. You can find their link in the show notes or visit nibodhi.com/mushrooms to get yours today. It's through that surrender that I allowed these things to come in. And many times it's said that before we enter into a state of oneness or bliss or that divine union, it's very uncomfortable and often very unpredictable, and it's unknown. And it strips away the previous foundation of stability we thought we had. Ultimately, that wasn't actually there. We live on a planet that's moving through space at hundreds of thousands of miles an hour. The next moment is not in our control. We could inhale and exhale and not inhale again. We don't know. The more I learn, the less I really know. I know that I don't know. And in that not knowing, there's an openness, there's a surrender, there's a joy in that not knowing, because there's so much responsibility in knowing. And so when I accept that I don't actually know, that childlike wonder, that curiosity really starts to grow. And the promise is preceded, the promise of bliss, that promise of union, the promise of joy, permanent joy, Sat Chidananda, pure bliss consciousness that's unchanged by the material world. That promise is preceded by being in a desert of the unknown. As I said, what we know is constantly changing, and sometimes it happens abruptly, and that feels sometimes even violent, but it's not. In reality, it's there for us. It's there for us to grow. When we want to make bigger muscles, we go to the gym and we lift heavier weights or we do more reps, and it hurts. And there's a recovery time. We have to allow that recovery time. But in life, with our own soul's growth and our own soul experience, if we allow the growth process, if we don't resist it, if we go to the gym and resist lifting weights, we're never going to grow muscles. So like I said, I felt more feelings of discomfort in the last 2 years than I have in my whole life. And at the same time, seeing why it was this way, not avoiding it, not resisting it, and stopping fighting, allowed myself to surrender to the wake of that flood. And as that happens, those doors open, the situations open, and the people that are coming in my life are so amazing and supportive. So in the accepting of change with grace, humility, and surrender, we can learn to dance in the storm. And then the storm passes over faster. It passes over faster if we stop fighting, if we just surrender. So for me, sitting with the darkness or the shadows, to breathe into it, through it, to know it, to understand the choices that we have, and to make the right ones for our physical, mental, and spiritual health, this has been essential. This ultimately has led to a stabilized happiness, even in the midst of the most challenging situations. The main point here is to accept change with grace and humility. When a change comes, simply say, okay, breathe in love, breathe out, and accept and surrender. No matter how difficult a situation may seem in the moment, there is light at the end of every dark night. Actually, right before the light, the nighttime is the darkest, right before the dawn. So in my experience, I can just share my experience, and hopefully it's beneficial to you. But in my experience, the universe, God, Goddess, whatever you want to call that, and divine intelligence, that supreme consciousness will never give us more than we can handle. Mother Teresa once said, I know God will not give me more than I can handle. I just wish sometimes he didn't trust me so much. We will get only what we can handle. And sometimes it's hard, and we need people to communicate with. We need people to share our hearts with, to share our life with. And so if we can accept that change with grace, life is so much more beautiful and so much more easy and so much more pleasant. So here's to accepting grace. Thank you for joining me once again this week, and fill your hearts with love, fill your hearts with acceptance, surrender, and allow the grace to pour through you. Namaste.